Hey, good afternoon. Mary Lou Foster here. Good afternoon. Oh, I don't want to turn it up. I think I'll turn it down. Alrighty. How are y'all today? No one's really watching, but that's okay. I can still ask you, how are you? There it is. Let's see if I can make sure my colors are good. Turn off these captions. Takes up room on my screen. Alright. It's Tuesday, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. As you remember, I am in Northeast Texas. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today, I'm going to show you the 3 cards that you can get straight to your mailbox. As I'm now playing. Come on, I want a full screen. There we go. If you are watching, if you will comment that you are watching, then I get notification and I can greet you and we can interact. I'll try to watch the comments. I don't know. Feels like I'm looking downhill or something. That looks pretty good. Alright, like I said, I want to show you the cards in my next card class to go. It is called Beary Christmas, is what I'm calling it. It uses the very cute photopolymer stamp set. There is a punch. You can purchase this as a bundle. So there is a bear punch, which coordinates with the bear stamp. And it looks like they're going opposite directions, but they're really not. When you stamp them, here's the stamp. It's the same size. Da-da-da. So we'll be using that. You don't have to have that punch. Now, the stamps you can add on to your order for $25. That's what they're priced for in the catalog. I'll pay the shipping and the sales tax for you to get them here to include in your kit. So that's a pretty good deal because you're saving, well, the minimum shipping is $7.95, so you're saving that plus your sales tax. Yep, there you go, turn this down. So let's talk about what is going to be in your kit. There are 3 cards in this class. They feature the Beary Christmas Designer Series paper in addition to the stamps and the punch. You'll get to make 2 of each card. You'll have half a package of the paper for your $25. So that's a pretty good return for your investment. I will include enough embellishments and enough ribbons to make the cards. No stamping. That's policy. Stampin' Up! Does not allow us to send stamped images for you to assemble cards. I can send you this card already made and stamped, but I can't send you that tag already stamped. So I have to comply with policy, or they will come hunting me. Well, let me show you this Beary Christmas paper. This is in the Holiday Mini Catalog. There are 6 designs in the package. It is 12 by 12 paper, and there are 2 of each page. And it's really cute, but if you don't care for the animals, the back sides of the paper are pretty cute too, with the kind of a Christmas sweater, snowflakes. I guess that's the front of that piece. I'm not sure. Oh, no, it had animals on the back. A cute snow fox with a little present. A smaller scene. You can make some really cute cards. We did in my card class. We cut that up. Tracks. But we're going to use the snowflake side. The gifts. And then another, this one is green. We've had red and blue, and then blue and blue. So there's that pretty paper. You will get PDF instructions with your card kit and this video. So you'll have plenty of resources to make these cards. I'll do all the cutting. I'll do the die cutting. So you'll get, let me show you. on this one. I'm not going to cut your designer series paper for you. It'll be 6 by 12, and I can mail that, so don't let mailing be a hindrance to you. But I'll have the card base cut. You'll cut your paper, but I will have the die cuts cut out for you. This is for the tree, and it's also in the stamp set, but you might have a tree in another stamp set that you could substitute. So try to think outside of the box and don't go, oh, I can't make those because I don't have that, or I don't have. So you'll get 2 of each. That's 6 cards for your $25, plus half a package of the designer series paper, plus your embellishments and ribbons, and the PDF instructions, and a video. So, and. Alrighty. Well, I promised that I would show you how to make these cards. So why don't we go ahead and get started. This one is a top fold card. So all that means is the card base is cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and then folded in half. I like to score mine. I just get a better fold when I do that. And I have already cut my pieces of the paper so that you wouldn't have to watch me do that. If you could see my table over here, I have buried somewhere. I have, well, alright then, how about if I refill that one? I think it's probably, I was working on a paper pumpkin last night, and my Stampin' Seal is probably in that box. But I have the empty case here that I had not taken the time to put a refill in. So let's refill it. Our Stampin' Seal is refillable. So when you run out, don't throw this out, or don't throw it away. You can buy refill rollers to go in there. And that's all there is to it. It comes apart. I had already taken it apart. And I always try to make sure and clean up the extra sticky, because sometimes you have extra sticky right here. The tape is so elastic that it rebounds sometimes and kind of collects. Alright. You can kind of set it on a post, set it on the back rollers, put the top on it. You're good to go. So let's make a card. My stomach is gurgling to beat the band. Alright, so this is a new roller. So it's gonna need to be advanced, and I just use my finger and pull the sticky. And I'm real bad about not holding this flat on the paper, and you can kind of see that I only got like half of the strip. And that's why it gums up in that opening too. So the wrist action is important. There's not an up and a down to the snowflakes. I'll get that on there and get it out of the way. And this, I love this card. It looks like a snow globe to me. So we're going to stamp some snowflakes in our snow globe. You know, when you shake it and it has all the glitter and the sequins or whatever they put in there to make it sparkle and shine. I can spend hours shaking and watching snow globes. You really only need these on the top half of this circle. It's cut out with the stitched shape dies, the largest circle. If you don't have those in your collection, I didn't pull every item over here to show you. You will get a list of the supplies that were used. But these stitched shapes, we're using a circle. We're using this label out of that. So basically, for your circle, that's all you have to do. Because you're going to stamp that tree. And I'm stamping it on Old Olive, but I'm stamping it in Mossy Meadow. And you're like, why? Well, it gives the tree that definition, that evergreen, those evergreen branches. You could stamp this in Memento Black, but I kind of liked the way it looked in Mossy Meadow. And then ink up your branches. And it doesn't have to be exact because this is meant to be kind of a casual tree. You know, trees aren't exact. See how it just kind of adds definition to it. I have stamped it in Old Olive and it looks great stamped in Old Olive. But for today's demonstration, I did it in Mossy Meadow. And you're going to cut that one out by hand. Now let me tell you the secret about the bear. If you don't have the stamp set, that's not a big deal because this bear can be cut out of one of the sheets of the designer series paper. Let me find it. I stuck it back in my sack because I just now cut that one out. And I'm going to have to pull the whole sheet out. But this whole sheet has bears going two directions. You got a plain bear, you have a bear in a sweater going that way, you have a bear with a scarf going that way, you have a bear with presents. So on my inspiration card, or my example card, my bear is pointed to the right. The instructions, because this is, let's see, Deborah Harrison actually, it's her design. Her bear is pointed to the left. So I thought, oh, well, I'll show you. But, yeah, you can use the punch. And I had sticky notes. Y'all, I have been working on so many projects. So I have got a hot mess going on here. Just a hot mess. There wasn't really a way to leave enough space. I think I'm going to be able to punch it out. Yeah. So you just kind of fiddle around with it till you get him centered where you want him. Oh my goodness, that's my stomach. That's pretty close. And you punch him out. Now, this one I had to cut out by hand because he's pointing the opposite direction. But that one, and see how I had a little piece of my sticky note left. No harm, no foul. Pull that off. Now, there is not a punch to punch out or die cut the tree. There is another stamp set, another bundle that has trees. It's called Marius Trees. But I didn't want to mix up my bundles. I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So if this was a kit that you wanted, then you didn't have to like order a whole bunch of other stuff. You could go with the paper. Now there are trees on the paper that you could cut out. But since there is a tree stamp in this stamp set, I used it. Well, the lady who designed this card used it. Alright, I'm going to cut that extra. I don't like having all that extra hanging out. And it doesn't take very long to cut it. Because it doesn't have to be any magic stuff here. It's not a tedious shape. That out of the way. That out of the way. I have used dimensionals to put the circle in and the label. So the bear and the tree are both flat. And I'm just going to kind of space these out. Sort of organize my snowflakes. They have some of the sequins. We're using these adhesive back glitter sequins, and they're currently not available, but have no fear, I have enough to share with you. They will be back in stock next Monday. They just aren't in stock right now. Okay, before I stick that all down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my Merry Christmas. And it's just stamped in a balmy blue, on a balmy blue label in black. Memento black. How boring. You could stamp it in Night of Navy and it would show up. But once again, I'm trying to keep it simple, simple. So if you only have a black ink pad, then don't worry about it. Make your cards with black. That's what I did when I started out. But it didn't take me long to go, oh, I really think I need a green one. And, you know, I really need a red one. Before I knew it, I had a pretty good collection going on. Alright, so let's get us some dimensionals. I'm kind of thinking I might need another snowflake. You know, when it snows, it doesn't snow 1 or 2 snowflakes. Not even in Texas. You gotta have a lot of snowflakes. There you go. Lots of that. We've kind of determined top and bottom here. See how I've used all of my dimensionals? So I'm just going to cut the edges up, because these are good to the last drop. You don't have to save them for a straight edge or throw them away because you've used up the shaped ones. Just use the edges too. And then that sheet can also be used as a kind of like a silicone mat. Nothing will stick to it after that, and you can use it when you're using glue and that kind of stuff. So let's put our tree on, and then we can put our bear on. So we're going to put some adhesive on the back of the tree. Really didn't have to go all the way down, because our tree is going to hang off of our, and I am only going to put the little bit of. Now, if you wanted to stamp the bear, you could totally do that. And then, like I said, there is a stamp for a scarf for the bear. We're just not using it in, it's right here. It's in another kit. And the bear also has a hat. So there are some other, you could dress him up just however you wanted to. And then this is going to slide up underneath, but I'm going to put my dimensionals kind of along the bottom. And that works out good since I have these straight edges right here. And, yeah, that'll work. We're backing off. Oh, I put it on the wrong edge. Well, you know, some days you're like that. And kind of eye it up and make sure it's straight. I think what I'll do, put a piece right there. I think I'm going to need a piece over here. I'm not even going to take the backing off those. I'm just going to let them kind of be the pop that needs. Okay, so the ribbon. You'll get enough ribbon to tie you a pretty bow. This is the black and very vanilla. And it just adds a little detail to our snow globe. Nothing magical about it. Just tie your ribbon. I do not pre-tie. Cut your tail off. I'm going to stick that on with a glue dot. Usually works great to hold the ribbon in place. Notice I say usually. And then I just want the more of a detail. I don't want the ribbon to be the main attraction. Then we'll use our adhesive discs, glitter sequins, sorry, to add some detail to our snowflakes. And they've designed these stamps with a hole in the center. So to me, that's a perfect place to put a sequin or a rhinestone. And then I scattered some kind of around because it is snowing in our snow globe. And those were the bigger ones. So then let's talk about the inside. From this card, I had not decorated the inside. Yeah, I know. Really? just wanted to get my examples made, and so I think I've decided to quit. So what I did is I die cut a piece of the designer series paper using the Countryside Corner dies, because this is a cool way to use your paper and to add some interest to the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. And I was pretty sure I wasn't going to use these forest animals. They just don't speak to me. Sorry. The fox does. My grandson's last name is Fox, so anytime I see a cute fox, but on the whole, the rest of them. And then we have Christmas is Better Together and Warm Wishes, and I think I'll use the Warm Wishes. And I think I'll do it in Real Red. Could do it in Night of Navy, but I don't have that color out here. I'm using Warm Red, Real Red, Balmy Blue, Mossy Meadow, and Black. Because, like I said, I was trying to keep supplies to a bare minimum, so you didn't feel like you had to own the catalog to make these cards. And I am not popping that up because I'll want to sign this card, so I need to leave myself some writing space. Sometimes when you decorate the inside of your card, don't forget that you still have to add a note or sign it or whatever, so you don't want to get too carried away. So there we go. We have one bear-headed right and one bear-headed left. And if they meet up, sometimes that might not be a good thing. So we've worked with white and Balmy Blue. Now we're going to work with Night of Navy, because that's another color that coordinates. Let me show you what else coordinates. Oh, a whole list. Balmy Blue, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lolly, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Real Red, and Very Vanilla. It doesn't even have basic white, but everything I used is white. I didn't use vanilla today. So this card uses the paper, a scene, snowflakes. We get to stamp the inside. I did not put a sentiment on the outside because I couldn't find a good place to put it, and it kind of took away from the feel of the card. Every time I would stick it on there, I would kind of go, well, I don't like that. So this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, but it's a landscape card. And of course our designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. The back of it is just a page of animal tracks with presents. So it was another piece that I'm probably not going to use that side, but the snowflake side, I'm all over that. Okie dokie. Get that. I have cut out of Balmy Blue a layer out of the scallop contour dies. If you remember, those dies are in the annual catalog, and there are wait, that's not the right instructions. I haven't written my PDF yet, but I have instructions here because I make notes. There it is. Yeah, scallop contour dies. There are 4 or 5 different sizes, have different borders. The biggest one has scallops, and there's another one. I have some cut here because I was trying to decide what size I needed. I may have used it. Where'd it go? No, I'm not going to be able to put my fingers on it right quick. But some of it has like a dotted line. This one is the polka dot. I call this one polka dot. So what we're going to do here is use this gorgeous sheer ribbon. It's silver and white, and it's currently out of stock. But like I said, you will get enough. I've got plenty here that I'll share a couple of yards so that you can tie bows on your cards. This adds sparkle. It just adds sparkle. And it's sheer, even though it's a 1/2 inch wide, it's not bulky at all. And cut that. And we're going to kind of work with it and make it go the way we want it to go. I didn't tie it at the right angle, so let me start over, because I want it to go up and down instead of sideways. Does that make any sense whatsoever? Oops. Oh, that's my stomach. I'm sorry. It sounds like an animal growling. It's not. It's my stomach. I'm going to win this. This is only ribbon. But it is giving me a run for my money. I think I need some more coffee. I have a cup here and I can smell it. It's pumpkin spice. When I worked, one of the counselors and we would take turns buying flavored coffee, especially the pumpkin spice and the peppermint, at Christmas time. And she would keep it in her refrigerator, because I would go up to the office to get my coffee, and then I could go get my creamer out of her refrigerator. That's a sweet memory of a sweet person. Alright, I think we're just going to call that good, but what I want to do is put it way over here, because our piece of paper is going to pretty much fill up the center of this. And it's a bear, a mama bear and a baby bear, and they're on their way somewhere. Not sure where they're going, but baby bear has a gift on his head. And this goes on flat, and that's the nice thing about this ribbon, because this ribbon is not bulky. It doesn't make your piece of cardstock stick up too much. It lays pretty flat. Just goes in the center. And you always keep working with that bow. But I did pop this up because it just looked better. I mean, you probably can't really see it that it's popped up, but it is. It just gives it, alrighty, I'm gonna have to open the package. Those are mini. These are regular size. I'm gonna order them a lot of extra supplies because I've been going through them like flies. And like I said, if you're watching, if you'll comment, then I'll be able to greet you and we can have a conversation. Because this is designer series paper, it's a little flimsier than cardstock. So I'm going to put some, I need to leave space for my ribbon, but I'm going to put some up in the center-ish. Notice how I said that, the center-ish, to hold it up so it doesn't sag. Because it's a little bit unusual to put dimensionals under the designer series paper. And see, that also helps hold this silly bow in place. Cut it. It was folded. I thought I would like it, but I didn't. Alright, and then the inside, we're going to stamp it. Let's do that before we put it in place. In the stamp set, there are presents, and then Christmas is better together. We're going to stamp that in, I believe it's Night of Navy. I may have told you a story. I'm going to get my Night of Navy. Maybe. This is Misty Moonlight. It's not going to work. Well, is that one of the coordinating? It is. We will do Misty Moonlight because it's the only one I can get my hands on right now. So, yeah. I just caution you, there is a bow on that package. So if you want your bow to go the right direction, just take a minute whenever you're getting ready to do this to get it lined up. If you want to color them, you certainly can. I didn't. I thought it added enough detail just like that. And since the bears were carrying the presents on the front, it kind of brought that into the middle. You could always use designer series paper to decorate the inside of your card like we did before. I'm going to wash these off. I got an ant. Now, where in the world did that ant come from? Way over here. You know, with this cold weather, the animals and the bugs, they're doing weird things. That was a big ant. I don't know where it came from. That's all I'm going to do to the inside. So we'll get that in our card. Come on. Get some adhesive on it. I like to put it along all four edges. And sometimes just some in the middle. I don't want my cards coming apart. There you go. Card number 2. It's taking us a little longer today because, well, I don't have my embellishments on there. Since I am demonstrating for you to make your cards, trying to include a lot more details than usual. You can just scatter these wherever the notion strikes. Where should we put this one? And let's do one more. Do a smallish one. We can put it right here. Okey-dokey. That's card number 2. I think card number 3 is actually the first one that I made because I wanted to use this paper. In a way, it almost doesn't fit this, the Beary Christmas, because, you know, we have bears and we have trees and then we have presents. But it's cute and it's got lots of colors. And this one is a fun fold. I saved it for last. How about that? So, we are working on a balmy blue card base. And y'all, this one is a little different because it is a fun fold. It's cut at 5.5. So you're going to take your piece of cardstock that's 8.5 by 11. Let me show you here. I'll just get a piece of white. If I can get my fingers to work. And usually you cut it, you know, at 4.25, but you're going to cut it at 5.5. But leaving you a 3-inch strip. But you can use that for tags. You can use it for lots of things. We needed extra pieces for this card. And it ends up being 10.5 inches. So you have to trim a 1/2 inch off. I had to work with it. The instructions that I have, Rhonda Wade designed this card, weren't exactly correct. So, once again, we're 5.5 inches by 10.5 inches. I have scored it at 4.25, 5.25, and 6.25. And then I have fan folded it. So I know this is my card base. So my first fold was that direction. And then my second fold was back that direction. And my third fold should match up and be 4.25. And it is whenever you cut your paper 10.5 inches. Now, there's not any reason that we need to leave these unstuck. So it's a detail for the inside of the card. You can put, make this be a gift card holder. We're not in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive, and I put it inside that fold so that this part is on the inside of the card. Did you get that? I put it inside these two 1-inch flaps. So you may have to play that over and over a time or two. Your cardstock will come already cut the right size and already scored. So it'll be your job to figure out how to fold it to make this part go on the inside of the card. It's really kind of self-explanatory, but it looks complicated. Alright, I have put these pieces in from the bottom up. We have a layer of Real Red and a layer of the Designer Series paper. Cut just a little bit smaller because we're going to mat it with Real Red. Like I said, I think this is one of my favorite cards. I probably make, when I said you could make this be a gift card holder, let me show you these little gift card holders that they have, that are in the mini catalog, and they would work. Alright, I've hidden those on myself. Like I said, you can't see my desk off camera, but I've been working on projects and getting other classes ready. And what have I done with those? I was keeping them right here in the front. They're not there today. Okay. You do put that Designer Series paper on this cardstock before you mount it on your Balmy Blue. Listen to me. Before you mount it on your Balmy Blue, you're going to tie ribbon around it. And that's a little detail that gets by people sometimes. But if you'll notice, see how it's wrapped around the red? That's a clue that it's wrapped around that center panel. So I don't want you to be disappointed or have it all stuck down and then figure out. So you'll have enough ribbon, like I said. I'll give you plenty and enough. And it ties over here on the left hand side. I got me some really long tails this time, because you can make that bow any size you want. This isn't a snow globe card, but it kind of, because it has the deckled circles. Why do I show you those? I did bring those in here. Now, if you remember, I did not put dimensionals under my cardstock before when I tied that ribbon, and I'm not putting dimensionals under this because my center circles are going to be the centerpiece of the card. So I like to make them different. And turn it this way and give it a little bit of sticky along the edge. And I don't think there's an up and a down on the package. This package kind of was my clue that I probably want to do it up this way. So you might want to take just a second to eye some things up and figure out if there's an up and down, like that one would look funny turned up the other way. Let me show you those deckled dies. Yeah, I put them right here. There are 14 different sizes in the deckled dies. This is becoming one of my favorite. That and the deckled rectangle dies, because they're kind of fun. We're going to layer two sizes, and I made myself a note inside here. It's the 5th and 6th. Alright, that card is not staying closed, so let's use our bone folder to tighten. And sometimes they just are contrary, because there is a lot of layer of cardstock going on there. It's the inside. Where are my circles? I know I die cut them. Here they are. So, once again, we have a bear. This time, the bear is out of the paper because he's got a sweater on. I'm probably going to have to trim this off a little bit. You could totally stamp a bear and do your little decorating. I've got enough. I am not a left-handed person, so this is kind of backwards for me, holding it with my right hand. Excuse me if I'm not talking very much. Alright. There's the bear. Oh, my lock broke, and my husband will fix it. So let's stick our circles together. Nothing complicated there. Sometimes I surprise you and make it easy. So you'll get those circles already cut out. Our bear just gets stuck on because he is just the star of the front of this card. And then he is mounted on dimensionals. Not sure where that came from. Dimensionals, because you want him to kind of pop up a little bit and not lay flat. Those gifts are kind of busy, as you can see. So kind of had to keep him simpler, but his sweater, like on my inspiration card, his sweater is more green, and this time I chose the one, his sweater is red. And then our warm wishes, we have it right here. We're going to stamp it in real red as opposed to fake red. Trust me, when you're working with reds and greens, whew, you can make the biggest old mess. You ask me how I know. There we go. Close that right up. And then this is mounted up here. I'm only going to put a dimensional underneath the part that is hanging off. If I put dimensional over here, then it's going to be lopsided. And I'll show you another little trick. Once I get it where I want it, I'll stick it on the dimensional. But I'm going to use my Picket tool, and I'm going to get a glue dot, and I'm going to slide a glue dot underneath here and then stick that label down, because if I leave it loose, it's going to hang and everything. Turn my ribbon this way. I want it to cooperate with me. And let's do that an angle cut. We're going to put some of our glitter dots, and we haven't used the green ones. We've used the white ones and we've used the blue ones. So we're going to sparkle this one up a little bit. We'll do a small one up here. And that's probably all I'm going to do. If you had a whole package of those, you could go to town. Now, the inside of this card is so fun because wish I could find my I don't think I can find them though without taking a whole lot of time, and I've already taken plenty of time. But we're going to put kind of build a scene, but once again the paper comes to the rescue. So you'll have to plan now how you want, or what piece that you want, and your PDF will give you the cutting instructions for the size that you're going to need. It's 3 by 3 1/4 for the paper, and then the cardstock is 3 1/2 by 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. Just that 1/4 inch bigger, so you'll have a mat hope you can see me. I hope I haven't moved down too far. And then you just stick it on here. Thank goodness there's nothing magic. You don't have to remember anything. You just design that scene. So it's sort of like a book. I think this is some kind of a book fold. Now in my sample card, I used the snowflake piece of paper, but I decided to use a different piece for inside of this one. It might be a lot of red, but when I looked at the back of the green, I didn't want to cut that piece of paper up, just to make a 2 3/4 inch strip of this sweater pattern. So get that lined up along the edge. Good to go. That adds just a little more interest, and then Christmas is better together. If you don't have that sentiment, if you want to use your own Merry Christmas, whatever that you have to put on the inside, no one is going to know. You're not breaking any rules. Don't really even have to be stamping up. Did I say that out loud? Occasionally, I've got a few Hobby Lobby stamps up here. We don't have stamps like those that have scripture on them. Sometimes I want to put a scripture in a card, but most of the time, it's stamping them. They did come out with some scripture stamps this year in the annual catalog, and I do own those. Okay. Probably should have put it a little higher, but no one's going to care. That is card number 3. Didn't change it up much, just the color of his sweater. But see how you can use the paper and maybe stamps that you have. You don't have to buy. I would love for you to buy my stamps, but you don't have to. And let me show you then. We've got this card that we've made. And find the other one. I think this was today's card. So we have 3 fun cards. You'll make 2 of each one of them for with your card kit. They can be mailed. So the timeline is short. I've been advertising this now for over a week, and tomorrow is the deadline to get yours ordered. So all you have to do is message me, email me, text me, and tell me that you want one, and we'll work out payment arrangements. I take Venmo, we can do PayPal, whatever, and I'll get these kits out hopefully the week of Thanksgiving. I have the paper in hand and I have the embellishments in hand, so I think we're good. If you order the stamp set, that might be it might take longer, but they are running on time in the shipping department. Isn't that crazy? Now there are still things that are not available, but if it's available, it's shipping. So that's all I had. Let me know if you would like this class, and if not, I will see you next time. Have a great day and Merry Christmas.